NBC Sports presents the American Le Mans Series. Today, the Cadillac Grand Prix of Washington, D.C. On the pole, car number 1, Frank Biela, Emanuele Pirro in the factory Audi R8, the red trim car. Alongside the yellow trim number 2, Capello and Tom Christensen, the winners a couple of weeks ago at Road America. Second row, first of the Panos LMP cars, the 50, Jan Magnussen and David Brabham. And alongside the other of the Audis. This is the privateer entered car, the ADT Champion 38, Johnny Herbert, and Stefan Johansson, his partner. Next row, we take a look back at row number 3, the first of the Cadillacs, the 8 car, Christoph Tinso and Max Angelilli. Angelilli gave us the tour of the course a moment ago. And alongside the 8, we have the second of the Panoses.
Even Johnny Herbert, with all his experience, at one point got confused, wasn't sure where the corner was going.
And that's the reason for the 38 car starting from pit road today. They won't take their spot up in the second row.
He had a minor incident in the final session, spun the car and flat spotted the tires. They decided to change all 4 tires. That alone will demand they start from the back of the field, not the back of their class, but all the way at the back of the field. They feel if they have to do that anyway, come in, top up with fuel, and then rejoin the grid as they have gone through turn 1 to try and avoid that confusion.
It's the Audis on the front row, the 1 of Biela and Pirro, that's the red trim car, and car number 2, a little bend to the left before they haul it off down into turn 1, and it's Capello and Christensen, your leaders in the first corner.
Panos sneaking up the inside there, getting a really good jump off the start. Both Cadillacs too, cleanly through. This corner here, because it is a decreasing radius, entering into it can be so tricky.
Very tight traffic. There's the 38 car getting ready to leave pit road. They have to wait until the full field exits. A lot of folks thought there'd be big carnage down in turn 1. First race ever here. Everyone gets through safely.
Part of this has to go to the designers of this particular track. It is not only paved beautifully, but the design is so well. There he is, that's Stefan Johansson in the 38 car. He's just going to try and pick his way through as cleanly as possible. Not really a bad gamble. If he's already at the back, why not fill it up? And he's now going to go a lap or 2 longer.
The Audi, car number 2, is your leader. The Panos with a good move into second spot. The second Audi, the 1 car, tucks into third.
Well, guys, they're looking down at the left-hand side of the motor, and that's the area of the turbocharger on this MG 4-cylinder unit.
Tough weekend for Steve Knight and Chad Block. They have had all sorts of problems. That's a very fast race car.
It's been very frustrating all season long for the 675s. Because they're so new, they're bound to have a lot of failure, but it really is just tantalizing right now. They're showing so much potential, but breaking.
The leaders are coming through the 3 contenders in GT, and we'll talk more about them in a moment. With the 2 Alex Joe Porsches, the 22 and 23, and right behind them, Kevin Buckler's car number 66, the Racers Group Porsche. Buckler off that big win in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and another win in the ALMS this year.
He has had almost a dream season, just really remarkable. I think what an achievement to go to Le Mans, first time there ever, and win. Just really outstanding job.
And the Celine in GTS, the 26 car on pit road. That's the Franz Conrad Terry Borcheller machine. Borcheller from Phoenix. Martin, what's the story?
Well, they're saying that the 26 car took the lead by passing before it crossed the start line. What Franz Conrad, the team boss of the 26 car, is saying is that one of the Corvettes eased out of the throttle to make sure that the Celine went by him before the start line.
Borcheller back in 15th overall, now behind the 2 Corvettes of Fellows and Andy Pilgrim. And the Ferrari with Emmanuel Nespetti, the 0 car. We'll show you the GTS standings. Here's your leaderboard. Borcheller now in 4th spot in that 26. In 675, the second of the prototype categories. This is the Banana Joe's Lola with the AER power out of England. John Field and his son Clint will wheel this machine today. Jeff Bucknam's car. Now, Bucknam has been in victory circle this year. Chad Block in the Nighthawk car, the 11 that had problems earlier. For the fields, I think, Bill, this is an important weekend for a lot of reasons. They've had mechanical difficulties almost everywhere they've been.
Yeah, they have. This is part of the frustration again for this car and for the team. They know they've got something they can really work on for the future because it has shown blazing speed in a number of situations. The one that, again, to go back, that impressed me so much was Johnny Kane in the 675 at Sebring.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how far he was up the grid, but the light weight coupled with pretty good horsepower worked out really well.
Look at this, Bill. Here comes Capello to the inside.
I think Biela's staying out far enough. He did.
Capello.
Oh, look at Magnussen.
Jan Magnussen in the Panos through for second spot.
Oh, that was very quick. He recognized that opening and stuck it right up the inside too. Now what? No, look at now. Jan's got the bit in his teeth. He's sliding the back of the Panos around, and he's actually closing. Good stuff.
Moved by Magnussen, going for the lead.
No, look at the Porsche.
Slower car.
Oh shoot, that could have been easily a pass. Magnussen very close.
Let's take another look at the move for the lead here by Capello.
Well, Capello just decides to take very much of an inside move at this point in the track. On the outside, Biela comes in, last minute sees him, avoids contact, but he's off the throttle at this point.
Here's your leader, Capello, coming up on the 38 car, Stefan Johansson, who's had problems. Johansson was knifing through the field, had to start from pit road today, back in 32nd spot. He had made his way up to 7th, Bill, but Johansson got in trouble in one of the hairpin corners a moment ago. Here it is.
Yeah, I suspect it's coming in. Yeah, he just got in way too deep. That's all that is.
Oh,
the Cadillac.
For one of the Cadillacs, the 7. Emmanuel Collard has gone off. He's nosed that car into the tire barriers. That's down in turn 1 at the end of pit road.
And well, Collard right now is in the real gray area on the track. That's all it is.
He ran out of road.
He ran out of road with really good traction on it.
We showed you and told you earlier about problems for Borcheller in the Saline. Contact forcing a spin there. That's an indication of how tight the quarters are here.
Yeah, it is. And one more indication of just how good and safe this track is. Now, if that had happened at Three Rivers, for example, they probably would have blocked the track.
So Borcheller back on the throttle in the 26. They've had their problems today. A couple of stop-and-go penalties for that team due to infractions, one at the start and one later in the race. And the contact between the 2 and the 38 of Johansson, the 2-car leader, Capello, in trouble.
Oh boy, this is bad blood now.
Oh, and he rubs up against Biela, his team car. There's a slower GT Porsche, the Yes Network car in the way.
Man.
3 wide, and there's just not enough room.
No, there isn't. And here we go again. Definitely the Yost car's fault. You can see the back of the car actually breaking loose. Now see the back of the car right there. You could see it actually breaking loose and starting to wiggle. He had no business trying to get inside at that point. He was not fully alongside. Shouldn't have tried that move.
And Magnussen, I believe, got through to take the lead.
Yes, he did.
Magnussen, though, bursts onto pit road.
Well, this is a routine stop. Yes, he dove onto pit road, but the team was ready for it. They are going to make a driver change. And yes, they're going to go for another set of tires. Again, this should take them to the end of the race.
And more problems for the Nighthawk Lola in the 675 prototypes. And a full course caution is being waved to the field.
Well, having watched what the Paynos team did when they came in moments before the yellow flag, both Audi crews changed drivers and changed tyres as well. Now, it's not just a case of follow my leader, because the track, as more and more rubber has been laid down over the weekend by the cars, is definitely changing in nature. And they feel that now maybe a slightly softer compound will go a further distance than it might have done even at the start of the race less than an hour ago. But there's another significant fact in the Audi pit stops. There's been a change in the order. The Audis came in number 1 and number 2 order, but it was the 2 car that went out first. So if they line up behind the pace car, that's the change.
Meantime, let's get an update on the Cadillac situation. The 7 car in the wall earlier, Jan Bikas.
Yes, and yes, a couple of Jans down here today. The problem at the moment is gearbox oil temperature. So I do not believe that's related to the contact. In fact, right above the shock absorbers, there is an intake that goes to the cooler. But while we look at that, they're going green. At the moment, they can't figure out why it's running so high.
Tough break for the Cadillac team.
How disappointing that is.
Eric Bernard was scheduled to get in the car on this stop, and he is in the car. We're back underway, and here's Brabham. He's got some cushion now because of all the GT and GTS machinery right behind him.
Yeah, this is going to be a rare luxury for David today, because he is going to have at least a few laps of clear track in front of him, where everybody else is facing traffic all around them.
He's managed to use that advantage, that opportunity to build a 3.5-second lead right now over Christensen. And a battle up in front. David Brabham still out in front in the 50, and car number 1, the Audi. And Emanuele Pirro right behind him in second spot. What happened to Tom Christensen, Bill Adam?
Well, we saw a few laps ago the number 2 car did come into contact with the ADT champion car down at turn 1, causing the champion car to spin. He got black flagged by the officials, come in for a stop and go, and that's put him back a little bit right now.
Meantime, the battle for the lead rages on. Pirro in the 2 car, right up behind Brabham and his teammate. Brabham's teammate Auerland with problems in the 51. Jan Bikas.
Yes, and when it went by pit road last time around, that 6-liter V8 that we were talking about sounded horrible.
GT meantime, one of the toughest battles on the racetrack. Kevin Butler had taken the lead from Lucas Luhr earlier. Now Lucas is back out in front in that white and yellow car number 23. The McKenna, Zybernaut, Alex Job Racing Porsche. That has been the dominant team, although at Le Mans it was Buckler's car with the help of 2 of the Job team drivers, Luhr and Bernhard. And at Mid-Ohio, Buckler with BJ Zacharias, a young local driver from the Columbus area. They scored another upset win. The points chase at GT, Mawson and Luhr from the Job team, Bergmeister and Bernhard, also Alex Job drivers, and then Buckler. Under caution, for an incident involving a couple of GT category Porsches, Bill. 3 cars just didn't fit into the space.
Yeah, just a slight little bit of contact and you see what happens. I mean, it really has been a remarkably safe race so far, but unfortunately the contact did put fluid on the track. That's the reason for the double yellow, and they'll clear that up.
Under the caution, the Panos continues to lead. David Brabham took the handoff from Jan Magnussen on pit road, and he's been strong. He's been able to hold the Emanuele Pirro back. Here's just a sampling of what this battle was like. This gave the lead over to Pirro. He was able to make an inside move on Brabham going into the left-hander, but 2 turns later, heavy traffic got in play.
And you see Pirro has to back off. Brabham, on the other hand, he returns the favor. He goes up the inside. A lot of respect, a lot of room shown by both drivers.
Well, both the Audis are expected to pit. Most of the field is coming into pit. But because we saw earlier in the race they made a driver and a tyre change on both the Audis and the Panos, they are going to keep the car as it is. Same driver, same tyres. They're topping it up with fuel, topping the driver up with fluids as well.
David Brabham shaking his head, slapping the cowl of that 50 car, not happy at all at the call for the pit stop. Brabham now on pit road. Jan Beekes.
Yes, and I think, Bill, you had the strategy right on, because not only do we have the lead Panos, but we also have the Audi. That was a pretty interesting strategy. Normally you want to pit the first time the pits are open, but they have decided to pit later, and as you can see, make a driver change. The Audi's already gone, so they are definitely going to lose the lead here, but they've decided to go ahead and put Jan Magnussen back in this car. They're not even done fueling it, and the Audi has already left pit road, so they're going to lose a ton of time, and they look like they might even go and change tires. Yeah, they're going to go for tires. Why they do that? Let's go to Martin.
Well, guys, it's interesting that not only did Brabham go by after most of the field had pitted, but so too did the car that was bottled up behind him, the #1 Audi. Now, they have spent most of this race trying to get back past into the lead of the Panos. Why on earth did they stay behind him for an extra lap when they could have gained track position on him by diving in early? Lots of question marks already.
Yeah, the pits were closed right until I went past the entry, and then I heard pit lane open, so unfortunately, we just got screwed on that one. It's just really disappointing.
Car number 2, your restart leader, Christensen, with traffic to work through on the front stretch. 3 wide as they come across start-finish.
Always a time to worry for the drivers. You're always concerned that somebody you're coming up to pass may be so concentrating on their own battle they don't see you.
45 minutes remaining in this timed event in the nation's capital.
Interesting, too. Watch when he goes through the corner where he picks up full throttle.
Way off line. Pirro way off line in that car.
One thing I'm noticing about Emanuele Pirro, when he came up the front straightaway, he's weaving from left to right. That is an indication that he has pickup on the tires. That is not necessarily a braking issue. It means when you're slow behind the pace car, you pick up all kinds of loose rubber. That, of course, will also prevent the car from stopping.
And the lead has been handed back to the 50 car as we watch the 51 machine of Bill Auberlen running in 6th. His team car with Jan Magnussen aboard has gotten by Tom Christensen to retake the top spot.
Yeah, and the crowd are going wild right now. They can hear the American car in the lead, and as much as they love the technology of the Audis, the Panos is still red, white, and blue thunder. Now watch the Porsche up ahead. It's going to play a little bit of a blocking game coming off the corner. Look at Jan. Just sticks it inside, gets a really good launch off the corner, and then tries to hold it deep and does it.
Well, speaking of tires, that, according to the Panos team, is what is making the difference. Don't forget that the Panos changed tires, the Audi did not. Now, although the tires are not worn out, when you go back behind the pace car with hot tires, what happens is you get pickup. With new tires, you do not.
And Kevin Buckler's blue 66 car with Brian Cunningham. And Bill, we've been watching this. These cars have been nose to tail for the last 20 laps or so.
Yeah, in fact, I think for the whole race, they really have had a terrific battle throughout the whole race. And Brian, for a long time, literally sat right off the bumper of Sasha. Now, Sasha has pulled out a little bit of a gap, and it's hard to tell whether he's maybe trying just that tiny bit more, or more likely traffic has helped him.
And the other Alex Job, McKenna Zybernaut car, the 22. Timo Bernhard wheeling that car. They're 3rd in GT. Oh, Magnussen hard on the brakes. Here comes Christensen.
Yeah, Magnussen gave him a lot of room on the inside there. Let's see if he holds on.
They rub.
Now
Magnussen's on the inside.
Look at how deep he's going. See, that time Magnussen saved enough brake. He knew that if he had to go deep, he was not going to let Christensen outbrake him that time.
Side by side action.
Now watch this gentle rub.
You see Christensen look over at him.
Oh, just a tiny little kiss. Tom goes as deep as he can, but Jan wants that position back, drives the Panos in really hard.
Oh, in trouble. one of the GT cars, Porsche number 79. That's the Mike Fitzgerald, Justin Jackson car into the tire barrier. That's the Banana Joe's Lola. And there's Jackson, just had the brakes locked.
Yeah, he did. You could see the smoke coming from the back of the car. Tire wall saved him. He's got damage, but not nearly as much as he would have if those tires hadn't been there.
Magnussen still leads. Christensen about 5 car lengths back. And I don't know, Bill, I'm starting to think that the Audi team just doesn't have anything left.
I don't think they could do anything at this point, short of Magnussen getting blocked big time. Now here he is coming up past the GTS Ferrari. That's the Olive Garden car.
This will be it. Checkered flag will be in the air this time by. Here's Magnussen.
Well, celebrate this one.
Christensen right behind him down the front straightaway, and it's Jan Magnussen and David Brabham, your winners of the inaugural Cadillac Grand Prix
and listen to the
Washington,
crowd.
D.C. The crowd on their feet applauding. Clint Field in the 37 takes the victory in 675. Your GTS winner is the Corvette, the number 3 of Johnny O'Connell and Ron Fellows. They're headed toward the checkered flag right now. And in GT, the 22 car will finish 3rd in GT with Timo Bernhard.
Yeah, and I have to say, both you and David thought with 2 things that happened today, you guys were cooked in your words. One was an early pit stop, and the second time when they didn't open it. How gratifying that you could pull off this victory?
Oh, this is unbelievable. When we came out after when I got in the car again the second time, had a new set of Michelins, and I mean, they were just awesome, I thought. The way it went in the beginning, so we're going to win with a lap. But then everybody else got their tires working again, and it was a bit closer, but no, it's great.
Man, oh man, that was, we got lucky. I had trouble in traffic. I tangled with one of the Vipers and flattened the right rear tire, and a caution came out. I mean, that's lucky. Anyway, just, it is hot, there's no question. But anyway, big thanks to all the guys at Pratt Miller. Whew, this is awesome. I'll tell you what, they have done an absolutely marvelous job here in Washington, D.C. I hope we're back for the next 9 years. This is a world-class facility. I hope we're back.
How about being a GT car in a situation where it's very, very tight confines with the LMP cars out there?
You know what? I would like to change the sides for one race. Let Pirro, Bila, and the other guys sit in our cars, and we change and we go into the prototype. And then you will hear stories from them. I stop whining anymore. It's awful, but they have to do it once, and we are on the other side. I like that.
Somehow I think maybe sometime you'll get a chance. Lucas, obviously it's a team effort. You also were being pushed very hard during your stints.
Yeah, I mean, our most problem was the heat in the car, you know. We had like 140 to 160 degrees in the car. And we had a really close run with Kevin, and then somehow he made a mistake. I pushed him really hard because he was in the lead when I got in. I pushed him really, really hard. He made a mistake, and I got by.